So I've got it in this far, but with putting together it wasn't lining up quite right. So what I've done is I've put this bar in here the wrong way around. So this plate for 2 holes should be over here, and this little standoff here should be over there. So what I'm going to do is kind of drop it down on the engine mounts there, and then I'll put the jack underneath it, jack up the gearbox, and spin it around. It's been a while since I did a video, but as you can see I've got engine back in the car now. It took a pretty long time just trying to figure out where everything went again. I probably should have documented it a little bit more, pulling it out so I had something to refer to, but it's back in now. There's still some stuff that needs a bit of work, like this hydraulic tank's not in quite right yet, and still more stuff to fit. But in terms of the engine, it's in and it's running, and it's all hooked up to wiring, hydraulics and cooling system. That fires up quite nicely. This key is still quite funny. It's quite hard to get your hand in there because it's right in against these stalks and against the steering wheel. I'm not sure if it's a fault from when they made it right-hand drive or not. Pretty well now. I was having some problems early on getting it started. It was mainly due I had the timing too far advanced, so it was kicking back on the starter, and also to get a more powerful battery. But it's going pretty well now. I've taken it around a block a few times for a drive, and it's going quite smoothly. Took me a while to figure out the gear lever, but got there in the end. There's still quite a lot of work to do to it though. I've had the fuel tank out and I've cleaned it all out and resealed it with a PRR 15 product, but I haven't actually hooked up the new fuel line because during the process I had to cut the old nylon plastic hose out. So previously this plastic hose went into the tank and there was like a rubber sleeve over it. When I was trying to get it out, it was stuck in the tank, so I had to cut it, and I've tried to put a bit of hose over it, but the hose clamp scosses it down and just kinks it. So I need to find a better system for that. But currently, as you can see, I'm just running it over with this temporary sort of tank system, and it's running alright. As you can see, I've got the back sitting back in place now. I've got to paint the boot painted up. I'm missing one of the emblems, but it'll be in the car somewhere. I also painted the bonnet last weekend. You can see here. I painted the inside as well, but I didn't worry about doing this part in here where the sound deadening goes. The old sound deadening was just pretty much falling out, so I've gone for this sort of bitumen product with a bit of foil on top. So I haven't stuck this on yet, but it's got some self-adhesive you just sort of peel back. So I'll do one strip here, and I'll do another strip through here and see how that works. If not, I can always change to something more like original later on. So the next step is to paint the guards. As you can see, I've got my back seats sitting over there while I've been doing the fuel tank. So I've been getting this guard ready to paint. There was a bit of a rust repair down this corner I do. So I put some body filler in it, sanded it, and put some little bit of putty in it. But generally it's coming up pretty good. I actually painted the inside of it the other weekend when I had some leftover paint from doing the bonnet. There's quite a lot of stuff that has to go on before and inside those guards once they're painted. One of these is the headlight sort of shell. I'm not sure what they call it. So this is like a plastic, and it's a different colour from the car. But over time the sun and dust has kind of got away at it and discoloured it. So I'm sanding it up. I'm not quite sure what colour to paint it. I've got this product here where I've done a test patch. This is sort of Rust-Oleum product, so I think's not a bad match, but I might just try it with that, and if I don't like it I can always paint it later. So sit down normally now. So I've taken this panel off here. There's another one sort of here to cover up this sort of main channel. So now I can get into here. So this is the main fuel line running from the tank to the engine bay, and I need to put some sort of joiner in here going to a rubber hose so I can join it better than what it currently is. So what I've done is cut the end of the old plastic line out. It was getting all kinked and stuff and when I tried to get it out of the tank, so that would sort of restrict the fuel flow. So I've poked a new bit of hose through here coming back through the channel and coming out here, and now what I'll go do is I'll go either make or buy barb, and I'll heat up and I'll press the barb into there, put a hose clamp on there and get a barb going into there as well. Originally this plastic line went right inside the tank to the bottom of the tank, but I think as long as I have something at the bottom of this pickup tube in the tank, it should be fine. So it's a little bit tricky to see, but I've adapted the rubber hose coming off the tank to a small bit of hose which then goes into that plastic line. Ideally what I was planning on doing is heating that plastic line up and putting it over the barb of the fitting, but it just didn't quite get soft when I heated it up. I think later on I'll replace this plastic line right through and have it how it originally was supposed to be, going right through the tank, but for now this will do. So this is where the rubber hose comes into the tank, and this is the vent up here. I've got a fuel sender back in. I don't think I explained it earlier, but I took the tank out and cleaned it with the Para 15 tank cleaner. So it cleaned out all the rust and dirt, and then I sealed it. So it's nice and clean all inside there. I didn't reinstall the original fuel filter. This is it here. I have cleaned it up though. The old one was sort of varnished with this old fuel and nothing was flowing through it at all. So this goes on the bottom of the pickup inside the tank, and originally that plastic fuel line came right through to a steel pickup into the bottom coming through this. But because I removed this and removed the plastic line, I've had to put a little bit of rubber fuel line on the steel pickup so it gets to the bottom of the tank. gauge is working now. It was fluctuating quite a bit when I was driving, but I'm not sure whether it's standard or whether you can have like sort of a, I'm not sure what you do, have resistors and or something to buffer it. I got the tank all bolted in now, and the back seats are back in. These seats are quite good condition, so the dog's got to stay up front until I get these front ones recovered, in which case he probably won't be allowed in it at all, probably for blanket. This unreliable British car's taken the Citroen's dead spot temporarily. It's a Ford console, came from my grandfather, recently passed away, so my mum has it now. It's got unreliable McPherson straps in it, and it failed to run a fitness here because of the bushes in it, absolutely knackered. Unlike the Citroen suspension that pumped up first time, first go.